Today is a Mail Day episode, and if you're new to the channel, Mail Day episodes are a favorite. People from all over the world write to the channel to share something, to teach us something, to explore something, and it's also an opportunity for us to just catch up, hang out, and have some fun. Now, these episodes are quite long. This one is this long, so you will want to get comfortable, but I will be asking you to do stuff, look for stuff, take part in stuff. I might even give away some stuff. So sit back and enjoy this Mail Day episode of #Flatly. Okay, so two quick things. Is that right? Wait, why is this? Okay, so two quick things to get started with. Firstly, I'll be at Stampex again this year, thanks to a partnership with the Philatelic Traders Society, the PTS. I'll be heading over to London from September 27th through the 30th. So if you're in the area, come and say hi. Of course, I think that we'll be doing a lot of content, including a What You Got. If you have a show and tell item, come and find me and tell me about it at Stampex for a chance to be on the channel. And there is a contest that we're looking to run. More information on that coming shortly through my social media. Also, go to thepts.net to learn more information about Stampex and the Philatelic Traders Society. It's no secret that Stampex is my favorite stamp show that I've visited to date. There's just so much to do in London, from the Royal Philatelic Society, which you could visit, and of course you may have seen my last episode, to the British Library. I did an episode on that as well. There's the Charing Cross Market, there's the Postal Museum, there's Stanley Gibbons. There's a lot of postal pleasures to experience, and of course non-postal items. It's London. Definitely worth a visit, whether you're going this time or something that you can plan on doing in the future. Now, the second thing is more of a favor I need to ask. A little while ago, I reached out to my followers and viewers on social media to ask about the creepiest stamps that they have seen. I had the idea of creating a top 10 countdown of the creepiest stamps out there, and they did not disappoint. So I put together a list of 70 or more creepy stamps that people have told me about, and I'm asking you to tell me which ones are the top 10. As of the launch of this video, the poll is live. I've actually run it for a little while before this episode. The link will be in the video description. Look through these stamps and select the 10 that you think are the creepiest. I hope to launch this episode in the most appropriate of months for the subject, October. And I will leave this poll open for about 2 weeks after this video launch. But there are quite a few contenders for this top 10, at least by the current poll results that I already have, of which there are 2 that are running away from the rest of the competition, and they are even right now. They are neck and neck, so I don't know which is going to be number 1, and I'm curious to see if you can figure out which ones those are. I did include, of course, a comments box, so if there's something that you think should be on this list, go ahead and write that into the comments box, and also you can leave your email there if you're interested in taking part in a giveaway, which I will figure out during this episode while we go through some of the items. Now, you could go ahead and do that right now, come back to this episode, but I will remind you at the end of this episode to go ahead and click that link, because right now I want to dive into all this mail. So let's take a look. Clear. Looks like we have an ambulance cover. Ambulance covers are provided by the Postal Service when an item is either opened, damaged, or in pieces, or in this case, one piece, keeping the contents together so it can make it to the destination. Regular viewers of this show know that we get ambulance covers maybe a little too often. Usually they have a bit of an apology on it, and I've gotten them from the UK as well as the United States. This item, I know for a fact, was actually placed in an ambulance cover at my post office. They claim that the item arrived like this. Now, it's half of a postcard. Really, it's half of a wooden postcard that arrived here. Of course, it is the half that has my address. I'm sure the other half is lying on the floor somewhere or got discarded. And quite conveniently, the sender of this, Atahan, signed his name just right of the break. Now, while this is unfortunate, I am very grateful to have the postcard actually arrive here. This is part of an Edinburgh Castle postcard, I'm assuming, or just Edinburgh in general, but you've got the Edinburgh Castle on the top left of the postcard, and the new King Charles III stamp is being used. The company is the Wooden Postcard Company, and I wonder what their success rate is. I mean, wooden postcard, this must have made it into a machine and got snapped somewhere in the process, probably on the US side, based on the fact that I've got a US ambulance cover, and apparently they put it in one at the post office here. Usually if something gets damaged on the UK side, I have received a Royal Mail ambulance cover. Now, apologies, Atan, that the postcard made it in this condition, but I appreciate it, and of course it gives us something to talk about. I believe this is the same Atahan that is studying in the UK at the moment and attended the Clash of Empires exhibition, which took place in July. Alex, the curator of the Clash of Empires exhibition, was sending me photos each time he saw an Exploring Stamps viewer that would identify themselves, and of course he would give them something special from the exhibition. And Atahan was one of the visitors during that event. Of course, if you want to learn more about that exhibition, I was there for the first week. I had a great time and met several people as well. But you can check out the YouTube channel. I've made a lot of videos that will be released in the coming weeks and months. So definitely follow that YouTube channel and check out the content there. Like I said, it was a big success, but half of a postcard is still very special. Unfortunately, the stamp did not get cancelled, but it is the replacement for the Machin, the King Charles III stamp, which is the Martin Jennings sculpture. We discussed this earlier. This is a very, very brittle wood. So there's no way it would ever survive a machine. It shouldn't have gone in the machine. But yeah, I wonder, like I said, I wonder what the success rate is for these postcards. It's got a website, woodenpostcardcompany.com. Thanks again, Atahan. Sorry about that, but let's keep moving on. I have an item here. Here we go. From Canada, and it's from Bill. Bill writes to me, "Hi Graham, my name is Bill. I've been getting caught up on your videos. I've even got my wife watching them with me. I inherited my grandfather's stamp collection, which was all over the map. I'm sorting through it, and I think I'm going to focus on Canadian stamps." Bill actually sent me this nice little sheet featuring the flags of each of the Canadian provinces. Thank you, Bill. And also a what is this? A little stamp dispenser, a coil dispenser, which I have one already, another Canadian one. I have this little sunflower one that I've been using for my regular Forever USA stamps. Of course, they look like Canadian post boxes, the typical Canadian post boxes where you drop mail in on the street. But I do have, just recently, I got, where did I put it? There we go. I got a coil of Forever postcard stamps. So I've got the Forever regular and I've got Forever postcard, and this will be perfect for me to keep them in there. These are coils of 100. This particular one just features a little sailboat, a variety of 2 different sailboats with the word postcard. I don't know if the USPS makes these little dispensers for their coils. I just know that Canada does, and I've got 2 of them now. So there we go, a postcard stamp dispenser with my Forever stamp dispenser. Perfect. Thank you, Bill. Alright, so here's a postcard. It's a lovely drawing on this postcard, and I believe it is, what it'll say on here, of the city of Chennai, which is partly inspired by the 1903 painting of Sri M.V. Durandar. I love it. It's a little bicycle with maybe a mail carrier. He's got mail, or he's just carrying his mail through the city, of course, with some landmarks in the background. Now, this is World Postcard Day. It must have been made for World Postcard Day, either this upcoming one or the previous one. World Postcard Day is October 1st. Make sure that's in your calendar and that you're ready to send postcards on that day. I don't believe that the winning artwork has been announced yet for the World Postcard Day coming up. But I do know that the deadline for submitting artwork has definitely happened a few weeks ago. So at least at the time of this filming, we don't know. Maybe it'll be announced very shortly. Okay, so while editing this, the winning design of the postcard contest has been announced on the Postcrossing website and social media. It's a beautiful design. This year's theme is Postal Hugs, and the designer is Lisa Saputra from Indonesia. She wrote for the design, "Once in a blue moon, the two long-lost friends meet and hug each other. Their hundreds of letters and postcards roamed the oceans before they finally met. Now they can say, till we meet again, my dear friend." Wow, that's so lovely. So this design is free for you to download and have it printed either at home or through a printing service. Check it out at worldpostcardday.com as well as check out postcrossing.com. Now let's get back to the episode. This postcard is from Deepak. He writes, "Hello, dear Graham. Greetings from India, especially from my daughter Driti. She's in 7th grade, but very inspired by your videos and work. Keep up the good work, stay blessed, and keep motivating. Best regards, Deepak." Thank you so much, Deepak and Driti. Thank you for watching this channel, and thank you for the beautiful stamps and postcard. Two very colorful stamps on this postcard. This one is the 100th year celebration of the University of Delhi in 2022. And this very colorful one here from 2016 features Bhupin Hazarika, as we can see on the left. Looking him up online, he was apparently an artist, an author, a singer, composer, a number of things. And he passed away in 2011, so this was 5 years after his death they issued this stamp. So thank you both. One key thing about these postcards, I always love this, is on the top left corner when you get the temperature and a checkbox for which weather conditions you were experiencing at the writing of this postcard. This was on Sunday the 16th of April. It was sunny at 37 degrees Celsius. So it was a lovely and hot spring day in April. Very cool. Okay, this is really interesting. Maybe some of you have thought about this before, but I've never thought about this. This postcard is from Little Rock, Arkansas. It's a custom postcard made by somebody who's very active in the philatelic and postal communities, Ashley. She's got a social media account called Mailbox Memories. I will link that in the video description. And Ashley got this postcard sent from Little Rock, Arkansas with a special postmark because this is the date that actually matched the zip code. It was sent on July 22nd, 2023, and the postal code or the zip code is 72223. This is very special. I mean, I got card 83 of 250, so Ashley sent a lot of these out during that day. And yeah, they had a special postmark. Actually, on Ashley's social media, she posted pictures of a neighboring suburb doing the same thing, and that the USPS created the special postmark. If I think about it, Piscataway zip code, at least my Piscataway zip code, is 08855, so I have to wait until the year 2055 before even thinking about doing something cool like this. But maybe I can find a neighboring zip code with a much closer date than Piscataway's. If you're in the US, maybe this is something that you can do, so keep it in mind. Thank you, Ashley, for sending me this Little Rock, Arkansas custom postcard with the very cool feature of the zip code and date matching. I think this is excellent. Okay, this one I kind of feel bad about. It was sent in January, but I don't think it made it here, maybe February, March, but before the last Mail Day episode. This is from Bjorn in Belgium. And Bjorn writes to me, "Hi Graham, greetings for the new year from Belgium. I have been an enthusiastic stamp collector, philatelist for many years. It started out in school when I was about 12 years old. They had philately club in the school library, which I attended, and so it got started. By the time I was 16, 17, I had a small collection, but as you know, my interest went elsewhere from that age on. I've always been a collector of things, be it stamps or cans, pins, rocks, and minerals. I picked up the hobby again after having my collection safely stored away about 14 years back, and I've since put some cash into it, and also acquired a collection from a deceased relative at some point. I love your YouTube channel, and I'm catching up on the episodes whenever I can. I hope that you have time to do an episode on Belgium sometime in the future. So I included some random Belgian stamps and also Belgian colonial stamps. So yeah, absolutely. I would love to do an episode on Belgium, and this will probably help me out a lot. There are a lot of stamps that you sent here, Bjorn, and too many good ones. You actually spoiled me quite a bit here. Bjorn also slipped in a nice little cricket stamp from Australia, which is part of my collection, but also a couple rhino stamps, one from South Africa and one from Belgium. These are going straight into my topical collections. Now, what's also interesting is that he included some Dendermonde stamps. Now, we have discussed the inverted Dendermonde, also known as the omgekeerde Dendermonde, the inverted variety where the inside is upside down versus the frame. The stamp has an interesting history, but something that a lot of people might not know is that very recently, or at least in the last 2 years, The Simpsons, the TV show The Simpsons, actually featured this stamp briefly.
Why weren't you there for your son when he needed you?
This is not a family to rummage through the past, emotionally.
You tell me why you didn't go to your son's baseball game, or I'll lick it.
My inverted Dendermonde? You wouldn't dare! All right, I'll tell you.
Go ahead.
I think Lynn's Stamp News interviewed the writers for that episode and why they picked the stamp and so on. I'll put a couple links in the video description, but I just thought that was kind of cool. And this was long after I did that Simpsons episode for Exploring Stamps. I can't remember. There was season 2 or 3. I think it was 2. But yeah, it's always good seeing stamps making their way into popular culture. Again, Bjorn, you sent me way too many stamps. This is just too generous of you. Thank you. I fully appreciate it. And we'll hopefully do an episode on Belgium. This has already given me a head start in what to look for and what to feature. Here's another fun one. This is from Stephanie in Michigan. It's got a bit of a chess theme going on here. It's a checkered cover with a chess piece on either side. And the reason why it's chess themed is because Stephanie sent me something that I've never seen before, but I've heard about. This is a chess card. Actually, Stephanie wrote to me saying, "Hi Graham, I thought these chess cards were pretty cool." Yes. So this is a 1992 US Open Chess Champion card. It's just a simple postcard, and this one's of course being cancelled with a USA 19-cent stamp. This is how you would play chess in the mail with a opponent. You would be sending this postcard with your next move. So imagine I would put the address here, and then you could probably draw what the board looks like. Position after white or black's move number. These chess by mail postcards are sold by the US Chess Federation. That is very cool. So on the other side of the postcard, you have your date, what section you're in, your last move was received on, my reply move is being mailed on, my time in days, and the total amount of days that the chess game is going. I wonder how many days, must be weeks and maybe even months for a full game to be played. This is epic. The whole game would be recorded in a stack of postcards, which would be quite something to collect. Yeah, so it's either correspondence chess or postal chess as it's referred to, played over long distances and long periods of time. Let me know in the comments if you have done this, and if you're looking for a partner, maybe there's a philatelic partner or opponent that you can find in the comments to play postal chess with. I think that's just epic. I imagine you'd have a chessboard set up in your home somewhere that nobody's allowed to touch, and you would be making the moves and then playing the game here. I don't know. I don't know how you do it. I'm not a good chess player. Some of you have gotten that hint before. I'm more of a backgammon player. But chess, hey, this is excellent. Thank you so much, Stephanie. This is a really cool postal item that I have never seen before. A chess by mail postcard. Thank you. Whoa, who unplugged me? Orion. I'm gonna keep you out of trouble. Say hi to everyone. No? Alright. Let's put you over here. Okay, back in action. Okay, this one's a bit of a mystery. This This one is from Jumbo Mike. Jumbo Mike writes to the channel quite often, sending usually a jumbo cover, hence the name Jumbo Mike. But it's a cover, a large cover with a lot of stamps on it. This time we have a smaller cover just with 4 stamps. Jumbo Mike actually was sending a cover within it that he created from Chad. He writes, "Hi Graham, here's a rhino cover from Chad. Sadly, the postal service was on strike, but you get it via USPS. Cheers, Mike." So that's kind of confusing. It's postmarked in N'Djamena, the capital city of Chad. Of course, using Chad's stamps, including the rhino stamps. Thank you, Mike. Totally going into my rhino collection. And a number of other stamps from 2005 through 2010, I think, or 2012. But if the postal service was on strike, then how did you get this? Or how did you get it postmarked? Were you in Chad and you got it postmarked and then you took it back and then brought it back to the States? Can you do that? Can you get them postmarked and you snatch it back? And once you got to Miami, you then sent it from there? I mean, that's the only way I see this working. This is really cool. Thank you, Mike. I'm just very curious how you got this postmarked. If the postal service was on strike, interesting. All right, this one is from John in Normandy, France. John writes, "Hi Graham, I really enjoy and learn from your YouTube videos. Keep up the good work in promoting philately. I am a retired Englishman living in northern France near the famous D-Day beaches. I've enclosed a photocopy of a mini sheet of stamps I have from the British Commonwealth country of Tristan da Cunha, stamps for local use. I don't know if you know about these. If you could not pay in money for the stamps you required, then you could pay in potatoes. The potato rate is shown on each stamp. I love these." That I did not know. Where is it? These are neat stamps. You can see the potato value on the right hand side. So there's like 4 potatoes, 16 potatoes, 48 potatoes. While the currency, or the regular currency, is in a circle on the top left. So anything from a halfpenny all the way to a shilling. I did not know about this. This is really neat. Thank you for bringing it to my attention. Tristan da Cunha is one of the most remote islands in the world in the South Atlantic. You have to get there via boat. I think it takes like 3 days from South Africa or something to get there. And they have a fun presence in philately. I haven't explored them yet, but this potato stamp is certainly a sign that the island is well worth exploring through stamps. Now, John also included an embroidered badge for UK post office workers. So I've got a Royal Mail badge. I have a few USPS badges, but I don't have a Royal Mail one yet. So thank you, John. And this matchbook promoting philately. Now what's interesting about this is, okay, the whole entire matchbook actually is promoting the hobby of stamp collecting. Yeah, there are matches inside, but you can see on the back, 1,000 worldwide stamps guaranteed worth over $30 at standard catalog prices. Yours for only $2.95. Reward yourself now. A great opportunity to increase the value of your present collection or to start a new one. And it is actually from Kenmore Stamp Company. So Kenmore Stamp Company does still exist today. You'll always see them on Google ads. Like if you type in stamp collecting, they're one of the Google ads that will pop up at the bottom of the screen. And the concept here, if you read this carefully now, yes, I enclose $2.95, send me 1,000 all different stamps, guaranteed with over $30 at standard catalog prices. My money back, not delighted. I agree to look at other unusual stamp offers on free examination from which I can buy any or none. Return balance, cancel service anytime. So you're not just getting the 1,000 stamps for a single transaction of $2.95. They send you stamps, you look at them, and if you want them, you send the money back, and if you don't want them, you send back the stamps, and they'll continue doing this on a monthly basis. This I've seen still advertised today that shows up in my mailbox, not in a matchbook like this, but in my mailbox with other coupons for my shopping center or discounts for getting a new roof or window, whatever. I've seen stamps advertised where you can spend money to buy a certain amount of stamps, but once they get your address, then they continue to send you stamps and you have to send them back if you're not buying them. I've definitely seen it from Mystic Stamp. I don't think I've seen it, or I don't know actually from Kenmore. I don't have any with me, unfortunately. If I did, I would put it on here. You know what? Next time I see it, I'm going to post it on my social media on Instagram probably, and Twitter, or whatever it's called now. Has anybody ever done this before? Gotten on one of those lists and look at stamps on free examination and then send them back? I'll be honest, I have done this and I've regretted it. Once you get on their list, it's hard to get off. I ended up having to lie that I moved and I didn't know where my new address was or something like that. But yeah, they sent a lot of stamps that I was just not interested in. It was a lot more effort to then send them back versus actually paying for them. But hey, maybe you've done it and you enjoy it. Maybe it works for you. It's interesting that Kenmore Stamp Company still exists. This is from... It doesn't say when this matchbook, when this was made, but it doesn't say when this offer expires, so I could send this along to claim my 1,000 worldwide stamps, although I don't want to get on their list or anybody's list again with that offer because, it's, like I said, it's difficult to get off. Anyway, thank you, John. Got a few matchbooks now promoting philately, and this one is a unique one. I don't have this yet, and I'm going to keep a lookout for those Tristan da Cunha stamps. Perhaps one day we can do an episode on Tristan da Cunha. Really cool. Okay, these next 5, I think I can jump between points of commonality. So let's start off with this one. This is from Ace. He's written to the channel many times before. I think he also has his own YouTube channel called The Young Collector. I'll put that link in the video description. But Ace sent me a very special cover. This is from 1971. It is an embossed stamped envelope with the American Eagle for 8 cents. And it has a signature, or really just some writing on it. Margarita Ormaggi, Tielka, age 97, witness age 11, 5/6/1937. Now, Ace's letter explains this. Hello, Graham. I want to give you a big thank you for influencing me to start collecting stamps. If it weren't for you, I wouldn't have most of my autograph collection and I wouldn't know as much about history than I do now. To celebrate my friendship with you and your viewers, I have included a first day of issue. The FDOI is hand-signed by one of the last surviving witnesses of the Hindenburg disaster. That was one of my first videos I watched of yours, influenced me to collect first day covers. She's 97 years old and still lives in New Jersey to this day. I hope you enjoyed and have a nice rest of your day. Now, this was the first day of issue in 1971, but it was May 6th, so it was on the anniversary of the Hindenburg taking place in 1937 on May 6th. I know Ace to be a collector of autographs. He loves autographs, collects them on a number of different items, including postal history. Thank you, Ace. I'll also include a link to an article of Margarita's that you can go ahead and read up on her experience during that time. Now, speaking of the Hindenburg and Zeppelins in general, where did I put it? I got a very special postcard. Let me put that one over there. I got a very special postcard featuring a Zeppelin. It's a modern postcard. It was sent to me just a few months ago by philatelic superstar Cheryl Gantz. Now, Cheryl is very well known in the world of philately. She's the APS president currently, and her central focus for a collection is around Zeppelin post. So, she sent me something that has flown on an actual Zeppelin as recently as May 21st, when she visited the Ibra stamp show in Germany, Essen, Germany. And a few folks sent me postcards from Essen, Germany during that stamp show. Here we go. There's Larry as well as Lawrence, and I'm sure there are a few others here. Apologies if I've missed you, but Cheryl, while she was there, apparently there is an opportunity to ride a Zeppelin. She was passenger on NT Zeppelin DLZFN Flight 1484. Just look that up. So this really is a legit Zeppelin ride. It's about a 45-minute ride. You can learn more about it on zeppelinflucht.de. That looks epic. So if you're in that area and this is something that you would enjoy, look it up. Thank you, Cheryl, for sharing this. This is something that I will treasure. And what's also interesting about it is, of course, the stamp and the postmark showing what looks to be a headgear for a mine. And while I looked it up, Essen, Germany has coal mines. A historical coal mine, it's no longer in use, of course. And I'm going to use that to bounce to the next postcard, which is from the Canary Islands, but using a Spanish stamp. This is from Wolfgang, who sent some of the craziest postcards, and he sent a sand postcard before. This one also has sand showing each of the islands of the Canary Islands. But what's really interesting is that he used a stamp, a rather large Spanish stamp, that is featuring a headgear and a miner from a coal mine, but it is printed using charcoal. I don't know if I can show this on camera quite clearly, but it definitely has a coal-like texture to some of the printing. And feeling it, it feels like coal or charcoal. But this stamp was issued in 2019. Oficios Antiguos. I think direct translation would be like old or ancient trades. But Wolfgang writes, "Hi Graham, this is my second time on Gran Canary. It's a magic place to me with beautiful nature and lots of parties. For sure, I also visited the local post office and looked at their stamp stock. I hope you like your second postcard with sand of the dunes of Maspalomas. Greetings, Wolfgang." Now, Wolfgang does a lot of great social media, as well as extreme philately when it comes to postage stamps. So I'll put his social media accounts in the video description so you can follow him. Definitely do that. Back to the stamp. I can learn a little bit more about this stamp from somebody else who has written to me in the past. There we go. Leah, who is, or she was in Norway studying. Now she's writing from Spain. And Leah has written to me in very nice, it's really nicely typewritten. She goes, "Hello Graham, it's Leah from Spain." Now actually writing from Spain. "It's been a long time since I've sent you anything. Little life update, I graduated. I'm officially a biotechnologist. Congratulations, Leah. I'm back in Spain and missing Norway big time, especially with the hot summer that we've been having in Spain since what feels like March. I don't really collect a lot of stamps of a certain topic, however there is one that I'm interested in, and it's odd stamps. Stamps made with different materials or stamps with odd shapes or other special features. I believe Austria is famous for this kind of stamp. I'm sending you a stamp made of leather. It's part of a series that illustrates old artisan professions. This one is about the repujadores, which are the leather embossers. The series includes stamps made with paper but with odd shapes, like a key-shaped stamp or one with beautiful colors and the shape of stained glass windows for the vidrieros. Unfortunately, they are very difficult to find." So, as Leah just said, she just described the stamp series, and one of them is this, now I lost it, there we go, is this coal stamp, this coal mining stamp. And as she said, they're really old artisan professions. This is one, but in here she has, oh, here we go, a leather stamp. There we go. So this is a leather stamp. Oficios Antiguos Repujadores, basically leather embossers. This was issued, looks like in 2021 for 415 euros. Spain, I don't think we talk enough about Spain and its interesting stamps. I think Austria keeps getting all the credit, but Spain certainly has some good contenders out there. When I open up this little packet of stamps, it really hit me. What else is in here? It has to be this one. There we go. So this last one does look like a regular stamp, is made of paper, but still has a bit of special trait. It depicts a rose and it smells like rose perfume. Yeah, very strong rose perfume. They are high value. Again, this is a 415 euro stamp. So these are quite expensive stamps. Another 415 stamp that she sent me looks like one of those sticker tattoos. The stamp has a plastic cover that you peel off and then is made of the same material, those transfer stickers or fake tattoos that are made for children. This stamp needs to be transferred to paper instead of being stuck to it. These are fascinating, Leah. Thank you. There's a number of other interesting things that Leah sent me, but what I want to call out is this typewritten letter. Now, Leah wrote, "I now have a typewriter. It is super old and incredibly heavy Olivetti. that has been collecting dirt and dust in my father's old factory for over 20 years. They used it a lot before computers appeared. After a thorough cleaning process, I managed to make it work again, and it is quite good. I get quite jealous when I see typewritten letters. I would love a typewriter. I just don't have the time to look after, maintain one. I'd rather just write it out or type it, but rather write out a letter. And I don't have the space for it. I certainly don't have the space for it in this room. But what is interesting is that someone else wrote to me, also using a typewriter, Paul, and he said, "Hi Graham, I simply love your videos. I binge watch the ones I haven't seen, then find myself revisiting them when I am bored, as they're always entertaining and informative. As you've probably noticed, this letter is typewritten. In addition to my newfound stamp collecting hobby, I am also a collector of vintage typewriters. This letter is being written on an Olympia SM3 made in West Germany in 1956. I would venture to say that not many people use the postal service for their correspondence anymore, but I found an exception to that. TypePals, www.typepals.com, is a website that is completely free to use, where you can connect with other typewriting enthusiasts to exchange typewritten letters and postcards. They even have a monthly postcard exchange, where you are randomly paired with another member on the third Monday of every month. It is a fun way to engage in the typewriter hobby with an overlap into stamp collecting. You can even select pen pals based on their interests, of which I have noticed many that have listed stamp collecting. Thank you for all the videos. All my best to you and Laura." That is really cool. So typewriting enthusiasts have written to the channel before. We've learned quite a bit about the typewriting hobby. This is an interesting website. Leah, if you're watching, check out typepals.com. Maybe that is something of interest to you. Does anybody else here use a typewriter? Let me know in the comments. There is, of course, like Paul said, an overlap between typewriter enthusiasts and stamp collectors. You're dressing up letters and mail, making them presentable, and of course, connecting with people around the world. I'll put that link in the video description. Always cool to hear from new viewers of the channel and learn something new, like typepals.com. So thank you, Paul and Leah. We've spoken about aerograms a few times during Mail Day episodes before, and usually we're discussing about how almost nobody issues aerograms anymore, except Australia. Australia just apparently recently released this new aerogram. It's like a prepaid envelope, but a single piece of paper for sending abroad. It's international. It's really interesting. I wonder why Australia keeps issuing them. Well, this is from Kate, Australia Kate, who sent us a Morse code postcard, a Morse code encrypted postcard, and I was almost able to crack the whole thing, but it was indeed Kate, which was what I was struggling with at the end. "Hi Graham, just writing to let you know that Australia still issues aerograms. They have recently released this new design. I believe that these aerograms are aimed towards international students and visa workers writing to loved ones who might not have regular access to the internet. Anyway, I'll continue to let you know more about my stamp collecting adventures." Yes, please, Kate, keep me updated. Thank you for letting me know about Australia's new aerogram. Really interesting. Quick update from our last Mail Day episode, where Jessica, if you'll remember, Jessica from Brazil, wrote to the channel asking for her address to be shared so that people can write to her. Well, it was a big success. Lots of people sent mail to Jessica. She's been very busy replying. I know she's replied to a lot of the people that have sent her letters and postcards. So she's extremely grateful and has made some friends and pen pals along the way. Now, she has written back to the channel a couple times and sent me some amazing items, stamps, and even this philatelic promotional book about Stampman, in which I've been getting invested in his adventures. But the one item she sent me got searched by US Customs Border Protection, the Department of Homeland Security. I haven't gotten this before. I've never seen this before. This lime green tape that has "examined by US Customs and Border Protection" printed on it, along with the seal of the Department of Homeland Security. It's quite something. Clearly they opened and examined this mail. I doubt they do this at random, so something must have triggered this envelope to be opened by the Department of Homeland Security. But I assure you, there was nothing of concern other than stamps, letters, and covers. So I'm just wondering, has anybody else gotten their mail searched by Border Protection in such a manner? I will say that the tape is pretty cool. I definitely will treasure this cover, Jessica. Of course, the items in it as well, but this is pretty special. The other thing that she sent me that I want to show you is this mini sheet, a set of 4 stamps celebrating vintage radios in 2018. This would probably be tying into a 100-year celebration of radios making their way into homes. And these 4 stamps are pretty neat on their own, showing you the electronics, the tuning, capacitors, resistors, tools, soldering. But what stands out is it's made to be cut out and assembled into a 3D radio, I suppose. So it's quite simple with the scissors and flaps for glue. So while this stamp sheet is quite special on its own, you know that I'm going to have to build it, right? It's a cute little vintage radio. I like it. Jessica, this is great. Thank you so much for sending this my way. I hope you don't mind that I actually cut it up and glued it together. I think it makes a cute little vintage radio, stamp vintage radio that I can put somewhere on my bookshelf. But thank you for all the items you have sent me. And since that mail blast was a success for Jessica, we will totally do it again in the future. I got a few letters that were either celebrating or mourning the end of an era, and that is the Machen. Or really, it is the end of the data matrix list Machen. Data matrix list Machen. UK's definitive stamps now have a data matrix. You need to have stamps with a data matrix. We saw that with the King Charles III. Where did that one go? Or we could just use the ambulance cover one. Here we go. So King Charles III stamps all have data matrices. Some of the Machens have data matrices, the very recent Machens. But it is now official that you have to have a data matrix on your definitive postage stamp sent from the UK. Richard Philatlis actually discusses this in more detail on one of his episodes, one of his recent episodes. I'll put that link in the video description. This is actually quite sad because it is the end of an era. If there is a perfect stamp, a perfect modern stamp, it was the Machen. The simple little rectangle in different colors featuring Queen Elizabeth II's portrait, sculpted and photographed by Arnold Machen. It is perfect. You can see on this one from Peter in the West Midlands that this is the final day of postal validity, 31st of July 2023. He used up all his Machens he probably had and made for actually a very special cover. This is like the last day of use cover. Also, Dinah from the Handwritten Letter Appreciation Society, a very cool society that if you're into handwritten letters, which you should be, you got to join this. And he's also the creator of Postbox Saturday, hashtag Postbox Saturday. If you're on social media, make sure to take photos of your postbox, post them on Saturday with that hashtag. There's quite a large community that takes part in it. Thank you, Dinah. Sadly, these ones were I'm not going to say sadly, I'm going to say poetically. These Machens were cancelled with a pen mark, although there is some postal markings on them. Peter's has actual postmarks on them. Now, some of you may find this interesting, and maybe this is something we can explore at a later date, but I had a conversation via email with Martin Jennings, who, of course, is the designer, the sculptor of the King Charles III new stamp that has replaced the Machen. And I was looking to see if I could have an interview with him in the UK. He was very cool with me, but he wasn't happy with the resulting stamp. And this is something that I had to learn, is that he did a bas relief sculpture for the coin. Its intended purpose is the UK coin. Royal Mail went and took that design and did not consult him, when they then turned that into the postage stamp. Arnold Machen used a deep relief, a very defined relief sculpture that he then took several photographs with several different combinations of lighting to create the famous Machen image that we love and adore. This image did not go through that process. I don't have an eye for art, or really a great eye for art. Apparently, it stands out as being a lot more flat than the Machen design. Like I said, Martin Jennings was very kind to share that with me. He encouraged me to go reach out to the Royal Mail to discuss this further, but I never get any answer back from them. But like I said, perhaps this is something we can explore in more detail. Maybe this is something that some viewers out there may know a bit more about. Bas relief versus deep relief. Maybe some numismatists or some sculptors can comment below and provide your insights. Do you see a difference between the King Charles III stamp versus the Machen stamp in, I guess, the quality of the artwork, the shadows, the way the light falls? Do you think the Machen is superior in every way? I'm curious to hear anyone's thoughts. Now, I promised that we'll do some giveaway stuff. There is a couple items, or maybe even 3 items. Let's see. Here we go. A number of covers, space covers. This is from the Astrospace Stamp Society, Derek. He writes to me, "Hello Graham, hope you are well. I am the editor for the Astrospace Stamp Society, producing the newsletter and the Society's Orbit magazine. Thank you for promoting the Society. It has brought in more members. As you can see, I've attached some space covers, and we're giving away covers over the next few issues of Orbit. There are 20 covers. If you want, you can keep 10 covers, and I thought you could give away the other 10 as prizes in the competition." Yes, absolutely. So a little bit about the Astro Space Stamp Society. They are completely free today. You just need to sign up with your email and you'll be getting issues of Orbit. He produces 6 newsletters and 6 issues of Orbit a year. The newsletters come out between issues of Orbit. I think he writes here that we now have over 300 members and growing. Members from all over the world, young and old, as we try to get more people involved in stamp collecting. Free is always great. This is free literature to read up and enjoy. I know that there are several Astro stamp enthusiasts that follow this channel. If you're interested, definitely sign up. Links in the video description. And of course, I will definitely split these up into 3 piles among a few other things that I'll show you now. But these are great covers featuring shuttles, mission launch covers, first day issues of certain stamps. Yeah, this is great. Thank you, Derek, and I'm going to encourage all of you to go ahead right now and sign up for the Astro Space Stamp Society. I think another contributor, this will be a great contribution to the giveaway, will be Kyrgyz Express, or Kyrgyzstan's Express Postal System. That is, like I said, they're a friend of the channel. They have sent me items in the past. They always make some of the best looking mini sheets using gorgeous artwork. These are terrific. One of their very special stamps that they sent me is now officially the world's longest postage stamp. This was issued last year in 2022. It says International Year of Sustainability, Mountain Development. I think this is the Tian Shan mountain range. I might be very wrong here, but it's supposed to be one of the longest mountain ranges in Central Asia. Captured here in a very panoramic image, perfect for a long postage stamp. You would have to have a long envelope to make sure that you can include the entirety of the stamp on it. We've seen some long postage stamps on this channel before, I think previous holders of the record, but this one is almost 18.5 centimeters. I think the previous one was 17 and a bit, I'm not sure. So, wow, almost 18.5 centimeter postage stamp. There are conveniently 3 of them here. I'll pull them apart and put one in each of the giveaway packages, as well as these other mini sheets from Kyrgyz Express. Thank you to the folks at Kyrgyz Express. Check out their website. I'll put the link, and you can go ahead and actually look at stamps like these and maybe purchase them if you're interested. And that is not the only one. I think I've got another package here somewhere from Jessica in Germany. Dear Graham, I very much enjoy your YouTube videos. Thank you so much for all the effort you put into them. I have been collecting stamps since I was about 3 years old, and I love buying killerware or surprise boxes. I think that is one of my favorite things to do. Just go simple killerware, soak stamps off of paper, and sort them. Anyway, they often contain mail pieces. I don't collect them, but love to pass them on. Maybe you find some of these interesting, and please feel free to pass them on as you see fit. Have a great summer, Jessica. Jessica, you are extremely generous and kind, and that is great, absolutely. So I'll go ahead and look at these. I mean, let's just, wow, there's some really great ones here. I'm going to explore some of these. I'm going to go ahead and sort them into those giveaway bags. Jessica, thank you so much for watching the channel and for contributing to it. It means a lot to me. I'll also add some other items to it. I've got stamps from my box. I've got, maybe, you know what, I can look through my previous few episodes, any duplicates, any extras I have, such as my Greenland stamps, which I have quite a few duplicates here. As well as some stickers and other items. Maybe I just grab a handful of stamps from my box. Whatever, it'll be just a big mix of stuff. I'll do 3 of them, and to take part, I encourage you to check out the Kyrgyz Express website. Go ahead, sign up for the Astro Space Stamp Society, which is free. But the key thing that I'll need you to do in order for me to get your email is take part in the voting for the creepiest stamp. Again, I'll put that link in the video description. If this is something that you want to take part in, make sure to include your email at the bottom of that form. But even if you don't want to take part in this, definitely go and click on that creepiest stamp poll and make sure you tell me what you believe are the 10 creepiest stamps for that upcoming episode. So that brings us to the end of this Mail Day episode. Thank you to everyone who wrote to the channel, sending stamps, covers, letters. I read and look at absolutely everything sent my way. I try to respond to as many as I can, as well as show as many as I can on the episode. But to show all and respond to all, it's just simply not possible. I just hope that you know that I'm really grateful for your support of this channel. The number of things that we discussed that you can absolutely follow up on. As I mentioned, I'll put everything in the video description for you to check out. As always, thank you for watching and happy exploring.